Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by leaving a second comment if you're feeling generous, or by subscribing if you have not done so already. It definitely does help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This is going to be I guess a news and also a news I missed kind of mesh, as it has been for most weekends. An Ethereum upgrade that lowers the volatility of transaction fees has been scheduled for Ethereum's next major hard fork. The upgrade, and I'm sure we are going to be talking about this many times, it is known as EIP 1559. It stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal, is scheduled to go live in Ethereum's London hard fork this July. The proposal reduces the volatility of transaction fees by burning the fees paid in Ethereum instead of paying miners. You might remember this. We spoke about this a couple of years ago, and it was one of the larger reasons why I remained hyper bullish on Ethereum. For those of you who do not remember, I'm not going to click on the accept thing because I'm tired of all these Cookie Monster websites. This happened in 2019. This was first spoken about in 2018, but 2019 was when it became like an actual discussion. It says, on the 1st of April, Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin played a meta joke on the cryptocurrency community by proposing a hard cap of 120 million Ether. As it turns out, the joke wasn't a joke at all. Buterin is now suggesting that the community consider the pros and cons of his Ethereum improvement proposal. He has also proposed a revised issuance number of 144 million Ether in case it's too late to impose the 120 million limit. The idea was, a lot of people were like, I'm bullish on this coin, I'm bullish on this coin, I'm bullish on this coin, because we know exactly how much is going to be issued. Ethereum doesn't have such a cap, as it were, on the amount of coins that can be created, similar to Bitcoin's 21 million. So Vitalik Buterin basically proposed, he was like, why don't we set a cap? Why don't we make it so that instead of printing into infinity the same as fiat currency, we eventually have a hard number that we hit, and then no more can actually be made after that. On top of that proposal was the idea that a lot of people have been feeling that it's relatively unfair on a number of different blockchains, Bitcoin included, where miners, the people who are validating the transactions, can basically set whatever transaction fees that they want. If the network is clogged, they can basically say, well, if you want your transaction to go through first, then pay me more money, as we've seen before with $28 transaction fees on Bitcoin. I tried to thank you very much to all the people who mentioned this as well. I wrote on Twitter about a week ago, I was looking for an NFT platform to be able to put my art onto. I found one. I think I was using OpenSea, OpenOcean, Open something. And I tried to actually mint the art, and the transaction fee or the gas payment on the Ethereum network was $46. And I was like, there's no way I'm paying $46 to create a token, one token on Ethereum. So the idea is that we can, instead of having the fee actually paid to the miners, let's burn it. And the idea was from Vitalik is that we'd have a bit of an equilibrium. So even if we did have Ether continuously being created and minted by the network, the burn rate would kind of almost level it out. So there would really be no new Ether entering the marketplace. The issuance rate as well as the burn would kind of level off together, especially as we've heard, I think it was the year before Bitcoin had its halving. Ethereum also had a little mini halving kind of thing where the issuance rate, I think, was like 12 before, and now it's 2.5. It's some weird number. I don't remember the exact numbers because it's not mentioned as often, but they also have been having their own like halving periods where not as many are actually created by the network. So yeah, this is now apparently going to happen. And yeah, it says, although miners will lose money, analysts think that the upgrade could pump the price of Ethereum. If we get an actual indication that this is going live, the amount of Ether that's going to be created is going to level off with a burn, and therefore only people who have Ether will be able to stake and create new Ether, the price of Ethereum is going to skyrocket. That is kind of the really only logical way. I know you can't really see it because I think it's actually cut off on the screen right here. When this news came out, this is Ethereum's price on the side. It was here, and that's when it popped up. So at the moment, for those of you who are wondering, yes, Ethereum's price is currently up because this was just a proposal for a long time. I don't think I have to read the entire thing for the proposal, but this is going to be major. This is going to be absolutely insane when this does actually get put through, because one of the big things for Ethereum for a while, like none of the major players ever really discuss or care about how slow the transactions are or how this and so and so and so, because we know that it's still being used and is going to be used. But when the issuance rate gets cut down, when the miners and people validating the transactions, this is also important because you no longer really have to rely on them, because now we have staking. People can also just stake directly from their home computer. So I think this is going to be the propulsion to an $8,000 to $10,000 Ethereum. This also makes a lot of sense as to why all the things are kind of lining up now, if you're fitting together, as to why we've been hearing the last about 4 weeks, all these companies, and also Microstrategy and Grayscale in particular, who were like, yeah, we just bought $100 million worth of Ether. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. That's kind of, really left field. Like, where'd that come from? And then a lot of these situations, I assume, this is an assumption, that a lot of the larger investors probably have access to some information that we simply don't, or have direct access to Vitalik Buterin's cell phone. And they're like, hey, any updates coming? Because, we want to know. Anyway, yeah, this is happening. In July, this was the only website where I found this. The only website. The only one. I don't think people understand the significance of a burn in transaction, like the burning of Ether. Yeah. What's this one? Yeah. Also, I guess tying into the exact same thing. After slipping to a low of $1,300 on Sunday, the world's second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, is steadily consolidating around $1,550 over the last 48 hours. However, it seems that Ether whales are scooping the most Ether coins during the recent correction. As per on-chain data provided Sentiment, the top 10 Ethereum non-exchange whale addresses are holding the most supply in almost the last 5 years. The data provider reports that as of Monday, the 1st of March, these addresses added a massive 1 million Ether to their holdings of around 17 million Ether. So this is now all making sense as to why the amount of news that we've been getting in particular about Ethereum has come about. Because at first I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. Cool people are buying Ethereum, but I think this is going to be the it. I think the other things that Ethereum really needs is quicker transactions, and I think if we get like an actual number on a hard cap, which I'm pretty sure they're working on, I give it by the end of this year or next year when a proposal will be put forward. But the number is that they were trying to aim for 144 million. I think we're at 123, 124 million, somewhere around there. Anyway, so yeah, whales have been buying up tons of Ether. I mentioned before many other times, just to move on from this point, I have a very strange feeling, a logical one, that staking is going to be the new dividend, the new passive income of the future. And this is why I think we've seen so many platforms and cryptocurrency places like that adding all these things in such a rush last year, where people who were trying to accumulate 32 Ether while the price, I think Ethereum dropped to like $180 or something ludicrous like that. And I know that you can stake by yourself, but I think a lot of people have this mentality like, I want to be able to do it on my computer in my own time and not have to rely on whatever the case might be. Anyway, quite fascinating indeed where this is going to lead, but I think we're going to see some crazy price movements over the next couple of months. I guess also tying into this as well, because why not? It does make a lot of sense. Evolve Funds Group is pleased to announce that they have filed a preliminary prospectus with the Canadian Securities Regulator for an Ethereum ETF. I don't have to read anymore. You kind of understand what's going on. I think this is the third Ethereum ETF, not within Canada, but just within, the world, that we've heard from in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I assume we're going to get a lot more of these as well. I I don't not assume. That doesn't make any sense. Doth not assume. The point is, I assume we're going to be hearing more of these as the weeks end up going on, especially once this news actually gets out there. I'm not joking. That was the only website where I found the information. And I know that this is like an actual EIP that's actually being proposed. It's not simply something that was thrown onto the website. So I think once more people realize that Ethereum is going to have a burn, that's going to change a lot of things. And let's move on. Wow, that wasn't super obvious news. Against all market uncertainty, Microstrategy, a business intelligence firm, has been aggressive investing in Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, the CEO of Microstrategy, announced in a tweet that the firm has purchased another 205 more Bitcoin at an average price of $48,888, and they spent $10 million on that. They now have 91,064 Bitcoin worth around 4.3 billion with the B dollars. Their entire Bitcoin holding cost 2.1 billion, purchased at an average price of around $24,119. No one should be surprised that MicroStrategy purchased more Bitcoin during the dip or the correction. I told you this was going to happen, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hear more news once again as the days end up going on, because we keep hearing about more and more of this every single day. So yeah, MicroStrategy bought more. Assumption that Square did. Maybe we will have another SEC filing in Q2 from Tesla and from other company and from fourth company that they also did the exact same thing through an SEC filing or through them investing through the securities of Grayscale. Anyway, cool. They bought more because of course they were going to. Next up, Kraken CEO Jesse Powell believes that Bitcoin is set to hit the 7-figure mark. In a new interview with Bloomberg TV, Powell bets that Bitcoin's price will grow by roughly 2,000% within the next 10 years and says it could eventually replace other dominant world currencies. It's going to. If we get $1 million Bitcoin, 90% of the other world currencies no longer actually exist. All the money from them has flown into Bitcoin. Has no one been paying attention? He said, so the people that are believers in Bitcoin say it's going to replace all of the world currency. So basically, whatever the market cap of the dollar is or the euro, all of that combined is what Bitcoin could be worth in the near term. People see it surpassing gold as a store of value, which it's already doing. So I think $1 million as a price target within the next 10 years is very reasonable. Yeah, he outlined his bullish prediction. He also asserts that Bitcoin's value likely won't be measured in dollars in the long term because the dollar is... I mean, maybe he's just saying the obvious, but the dollar probably won't be the same dollar that we know today in about 7 years. So saith Twitter's CEO, and so saith Citibank, and so saith that other woman who was in the news about a day or two ago, who said that Bitcoin is going to... could, she said the C word, could... replace bonds, which it's going to. They keep popping up all the time, the Bitcoin price predictions. I think they're all smoothing out. We used to have very weird price predictions years ago, like $95 billion Bitcoin. It was always really weird, like, okay, slow it down. But it appears that everyone is kind of on the same track. This year we got 200,000 to 288,000. Next year we got 300,000 to 600 something thousand. They're slowly equaling what the other ones are saying, and then the 5 to 10 year period of Bitcoin hitting $1 million. Cool. I would assume that the head of Kraken probably is bullish on Bitcoin because he probably wouldn't be in the business otherwise. Anyway, cool. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But, time continues moving forward, whether we want it to or not. So we will at some point. I mean, in 10 years, we'll definitely know if it hit $1 million. Probably. Let's move on. Also in the news, in very popular news, this is all over the place. Suzy Orman, she is a financial guru, money-making machine. If you've never seen her little show that she does on CNBC, it's okay. It's interesting. I actually like when they make a caricature of her, caricature of her on SNL. I find those actually quite funny. Anyway, the point is, she recently had an interview where she was discussing like money making tools for women and stuff like that. And of course, the question came up, so how you feel about Bitcoin? And she was like, I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. I think it's this. I think it's that. So she is noted as one of the most influential people on television to get people, really into investing. She has very super practical ideas like, hey, you can't afford your rent? Maybe you should sell your 9 TVs and the 3 cars you're not using. People are like, what? That's crazy, Suzy. I never thought about that. But the fact that she openly admitted that she loves Bitcoin has, of course, set people off as well, because now they understand that she's smart. I don't know what that is supposed to be, but yeah. See, it says women and money, and I think I did 2 things on Bitcoin, 2 things on as to why I like it. So somebody who's into finance likes Bitcoin because they understand finance and they also like Bitcoin. That's the Suzy Orman news, which you also probably didn't expect to hear me say today. And let's move on. Next up, Ghana's central bank has launched a regulatory and innovation sandbox focusing on projects building on blockchain technology. The sandbox is in line with the bank's pledge to drive financial inclusion through innovative digital financial services. It will be available to banks, payment service providers, and deposit-taking institutions. The Bank of Ghana launched the sandbox in collaboration with M-Tech Services, LLC. The firm is in charge of the technology on which the sandbox will run. For those of you who have no idea what a sandbox is, it's a little box that has sand in it. Next up, no, I'm joking. A lot of countries are very uncomfortable with cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. They do not understand it, or they're trying to understand it. So what they do, and I think Russia was like the first country to really implement this, it's a little like big brothery, like standing over your shoulder and breathing very heavily. What it is basically, in certain countries, they even have like actual like designated streets. Like on these 4 streets, this is where you can do business. And within this area, everyone who wants to do anything crypto, blockchain like can do it in this space. But everything that you do, you have to report to the government, because the government doesn't. They say it has to do with KYC, AML, sure, but it has to do with them basically being afraid that this technology is going to take over their purpose, which it is. And therefore, they want to make sure that anything that's being developed, anything that's being created, anything that's being said or spoken about basically has to then go back to the government, so the government can look through it and say, okay, everything you're doing is legal and therefore fine for us. But it's a way for them to start accepting crypto and blockchain, but the way that they go about it is still very authoritarian. I guess that's the word you would use. And it's not just Ghana, it's every single place that has a sandbox. It's this idea that a lot of these countries in the beginning still don't like Bitcoin, and they were trying to ban it at a certain point, but they understand that the market is going to completely absorb their money supply. So they're trying to get into it in a certain way. And this ties exactly into why we have, or are going to see, central bank digital currencies. They're like, okay, let's make a sandbox. Let's try and do this. And the people want digital money, so let's give them digital money. Still not understanding the entire thing. Anyway, cool. It's like 4 steps forward, 3.5 steps back. That's probably the most accurate way. Like it's a smidge ahead, but not as much as we need. But regardless of what any sandbox says, people within these countries are still just going to download stuff on their phone and use crypto anyway. Yeah, let's move on. What's this one? Also in the news, it says Bitcoin holders in the United Kingdom were breathing a sigh of relief. This is a bit dramatic, as the Chancellor resisted any change to capital gains taxes in yesterday's budget. The cryptocurrency has risen in value from 5,000 to 50,000 at the start of the last year, generating a huge profit for anyone who was smart enough to buy it. Gains would be generated and liable for a tax. This was said by HMRC. I assume that's Her Majesty's Royal Cabinet Council. If there were then switched back into fiat currency such as sterling or the dollar or another cryptocurrency, or even used to buy things, which is the dumbest thing in the entire world. I don't know what made them think that that was going to be an intelligent law, and they're not the only one who has that. A lot of countries have, if you have your crypto and you swap it into a fiat currency, you get taxed. Sure. If you swap it into another coin or another stable coin, you get taxed. Also doesn't make any sense. Or if you happen to use your crypto to buy something, you also get taxed. Why are you not taxing? When I go buy something for £5 in the store, why are you not also taxing me paying £5? Why are you taxing my crypto transaction, but not the actual £5 transaction? There's no logic there. Speculation ahead of the budget. Was it budget? So where are the numbers? In the event, Sunak froze the current capital gains tax threshold at 10% for the basic rate taxpayers and 20% for higher rate taxpayers. The capital gains tax allowance or free allowance of £12,300 was also frozen until the year 2026. So cool. Should I say this? No, I think it's fine. The future is going to be quite interesting when no. Anyway, so the point is, yes, he did not raise the capital gains tax. Absolutely wonderful. Because I guess they realized that planes exist, or people can just take a boat or train to Portugal and then have 0% taxes. I guess that's also maybe why. Anyway, that's the UK capital gains news. We're getting a lot of, in the last 4 days, a lot of tax news, IRS news. For those of you who missed the video yesterday, the IRS, once again, look this up for yourself. The IRS stated in the United States that if you purchase crypto with fiat, you don't have to declare it on your taxes or something like that. Make sure to look that up. But it was in yesterday's video. So we're getting a lot of these clarification on taxes things. And I assume this is happening because all the big players are in it. And, the rich people actually make the laws in the country. So they've gone to the lawmakers and they're like, chop, chop, give me the law right now. And this is why we're getting them. Fascinating, though. Anyway, that's the UK news. And let's move on. And to finish things off sure, why the fudge not? Dallas Mavericks, a basketball team, has revealed that it would start accepting Dogecoin for tickets and merchandise. Dogecoin is not only posting strong price gains, but its adoption has increased in recent months as well. BitPay, a US-based crypto payments company, announced a rollout of Dogecoin payments for merchants and consumers. I'm telling you, I can feel it. Something really weird is happening with Dogecoin. I mentioned this 2 videos ago. Doesn't it seem a little weird, all the adoption that Dogecoin is getting so quick? If we hear at any point, I'm telling you, if we hear at any point from Dogecoin developers, people who are working on the code and who send out improvements and upgrades, that they're going to lower either lower the issuance rate of Dogecoin or just stop printing any more Dogecoin, it's going to $5. I'm telling you. It's the weirdest thing in the entire. I can feel it. I can see it in the stars. The company also mentioned that Dallas Mavericks would be the first team to accept Dogecoin. What more should I honestly say on the topic? And even more so for those of you, this happened 2 weeks ago, when Elon Musk was like, doggy, I love doggy. He mentioned, he said, I'm going to throw my full support behind Dogecoin if the largest wallets redistribute and or sell their coins. Because I think it's 3 wallets hold more than 50% of all the Doge, which I went over in the video. For those of you who don't know, before you even knew what Doge was less than 1/100th of 1 cent. It was nothing. It was absolutely, if you had put $1,000, you probably would have gotten around 2 to 3 million Doge. It was worth nothing. And I think even that is an understated number for what it is. So I assumed over the years, there've been a lot of people who've been mining it and people who've been I got an extra 1,000, let's throw it into it. And now they have all this Doge and people are like, centralization. And it's no, they just took the opportunity the same exact way that people didn't buy Bitcoin when it was $200. And lo and behold, look at where we are. Anyway, the point is, yeah, they're going to be accepting Dogecoin. I'm telling you, dude, if this coin goes to $1, you know what I think it is? And no comment section people, can you please stop it? Somebody was like, it is blatantly obvious that you have invested in Dogecoin and it's kind of sad. I don't have any Dogecoin. Like, just, the point is, I'm going to be honest, I think I'd be a little upset that if Dogecoin goes to $1 and I don't have 15 million Doge because I could have gotten it for like $3,000, gonna be a little upset. That's what I think it is. It keeps getting accepted everywhere, and I'm like, anyway, just thought I'd say that. I've seen way too many comments in the comment section. Like, I know he has Doge. No tengo Doge. All right. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Bolero Bastos, Crayola Michelle, URL on Crypto with Lionel, Tigara Macho Nisa, Bake Me a Cake, ArfMedic17, Anytime Fitness, Monks Runner Staff, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, Miller His Chest Every Day and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich III, almost said Samsung, Setsuna, Samsung, Damien, Crypto Artist, Coldy3D, Bankroll Network, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moher Maroni, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, Jarn Sarson. You know what it is? I'm used to reading it in a certain order, and when I'm reading it backwards, my eyes see the other name that should have come before it, and it wants to read it desperately. It's very weird how the eyes work. A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Nostromo Martin Stoyo, Joshua Vineyard, Moonman High, XRP, Utopia 569, Oscar Maldonado, Yasha Harari, Attila the Han, David James, see it happened again, Navarro Williams, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Tolik Banan, Snacky Chan, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Pater Noster, Crypto Stahl, Need a Miracle, Space Case, Troy, all good. Here we go. Bare Bones Mining, Quoted Biddy, Lauren De Silva, Miguel Grolay, VB Nerd 21, Jojo Shaw Show, Mo Barazzi, and Carlos was like, and Professor Wally from Gunbite University. That's an inside joke for those of you who don't know, but that's hello. Anyway, yes, thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like. Thank you to everyone who left a comment. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And thank you to everyone who's still here listening to my voice. At the Memento, Bitcoin is at $48,701. It is up by 4%. Ethereum popped up after that news. It is at 1,580. It is up by 7%. Binance Coin is up by 4%. No real news as to why the crypto market popped up. The news is still that we're consolidating around $48,000 to $50,000 for Bitcoin. We'll see where that goes. Everything is up except for Tether because it's a stable coin. Market's looking pretty okay. NEM is up by 18%. Dogecoin is up by 3%. Uniswap is up by 4%. Aave is up by 8%. EOS is up by 3%. Sure, why not? Luna is up by 16%. My goshness. Anything else? Tezos is up by 4%. VeChain Thor is up by 13%. Neo is up by 4%. Compound is up by 10%. Anything else crazy? Pancake Swap is up by 9%. Lend is up by 8%. And Zcash has flown back into the top 50 and is up by 6%. Cool. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all could possibly begin to have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See